For today, all we have to do is read the second part. For
Okay, folks, let's start bringing it back in. I'm hearing a lot of good comments, so I want to hear from my groups, because I know you guys read the book. So you should know just about anything and everything there is about these characters. So, group one, what is the deal with Ampleforth?
He's the guy that wrote and had the word God in it, so
Okay, so he wrote God. Why is that such a big deal? Okay, so he put God in there even though he wasn't supposed to. Why would it be wrong for him to put God in the home? I'm asking you guys because you guys are the ones who just tell me. Why wouldn't they want the people to look up to something? So what would the idea of God be competing with? Yeah, so why would they want to have a God if they have Big Brother? Because they're supposed to put their faith in something. What would they want to put their faith in? Big Brother in the party. Okay, so and yes, you guys did bring up a lot of good points about how there's not many things that rhyme with Rod. The thing we're trying to pull on is just kind of reason why God itself can't be used is the word. Okay. So, group two, Parsons. What's the deal with him? Okay, so he got caught by his 7-year-old daughter whispering down with Big Brother in his sleep. Do you think he really believes in the idea of down with Big Brother?
Yes, on your subconscious level, it's true.
Okay, so why do you think he'd be against the party? Do you think he's kind of being like Julia and just kind of hiding it? Or do you think he genuinely believes in the party?
I think he's writing it. I mean, dude, look at his kids. I hate it too.
Don't want to deal with those problem kids? Okay, so here's the next bit. So after we've seen what's starting to happen to Winston, what do you think is going to happen to Parsons? Do you think he's going to be allowed back into society? Why not? He's seen too much? Any other thoughts? Why do you think he'd make it back out or not? But he didn't mean it.
They don't care.
And that's what we like to see. It doesn't matter. Okay. So next, let's move on to our pair in the back. What is the deal with the chinless man?
Was he the one that offered bread to Winston and he found out?
Wasn't Winston. The skull-faced man. Why would he do that?
Because they were starving?
Why would he care? Okay, quick, break up in pairs. chinless man want to risk his safety for someone he's never met? Okay, folks, let's bring it back in. So I want to hear from some folks. Why would this man risk his safety for someone he's never met?
Because he's a good person.
He's starving?
No one's starving. He knows what it's like to starve. So
Okay, so he's, worried about this other person's well-being because it's the right thing to do. So here's my other question. Aside from being chinless, how else would we describe his face? Huh?
yeah, big cheeks.
He had big cheeks. What about his teeth? Toothy, big front teeth. So what's got chubby cheeks and big front teeth? I'm hearing a lot of rodents. What's a rodent that's popped up a lot in this book?
Oh, rat.
A little bit.
What? Oh, yeah.
He's a rat.
He does look a little bit like a rodent. So, now that we've covered, this very generous man who got his face caved in for his troubles, let's talk about the skull-faced man. What's his deal? I know you guys know it because you were talking about it.
Isn't that the one with the guy?
Oh,
Yes, you guys are the skull-faced man group.
It's the guy that was like big enough to go to 101, right?
Okay, yes, but just a second. So, guys, I'm hearing a lot of conversation on this side of the room. They're trying to share out, so please be respectful and let me go.
Yeah, so he was like, a guard came in and then they said room 101 and he's like, oh, like you can do anything but please don't send me to room 101.
So who do you offer in his own stead?
Oh my god, he's crazy. Slit my daughter's throat, slit my wife's throat, just don't take me to
Kill my family.
Yeah,
Who-
in front of him. He was like, kill them in front of me. Like,
So he's willing to off his family. Who else was he willing to off? The chinless guy, the guy who just offered him food. So, here's my question. So, we already know, it's clear he's afraid of room 101, was it?
yeah.
So, do you think Julia would do the same thing to Winston?
No.
Do you think Winston would do the same thing to Julia?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Because he was like, I accidentally let him. Winston would trade Julia?
Okay, so let's just get a quick show of hands. So who thinks that Julia would betray Winston? Who thinks that Winston would betray Julia? Clearly a lot of people don't like Winston.
Men.
I don't know, I feel like mildly threatened right now. Okay. So, room 101, apparently that's the place you'll go to when you're willing to rat out everybody. Our last group, O'Brien. What's he doing here?
So O'Brien walks into the cell, and then like Winston stands up and he's like, "Oh, they got you too," and he was like, "Oh, you they got me yours back. You should already know what I am." So he basically like came out that he's part of the top police, and then did he like order somebody to hurt his hand, or I don't know, something happened to his hand, like his
It
elbow.
wasn't quite his hand, it was part of the arm.
What's his elbow?
Left elbow. So, that O'Brien. So, I remember when we talked earlier, who saw this coming a mile away, that O'Brien was gonna backstab him? Alright, now honestly, who actually thought that O'Brien was going to be the bad guy the whole time? Okay, that's what I figured.
Wait, can I just pose a question? If you guys didn't read ahead, when you guys read the chapter, did you guys know that he was like the chief of the Ministry of Love? Or did you guys think he was a prisoner? Because I thought he was a prisoner when I read this chapter. Nobody?
I appreciate that question. That's a good point. That kind of builds off of this question that I've had. So, do you guys think O'Brien is part of the Brotherhood and trying to hide it as part of the Thought Police? Or do you think he's always been Thought Police and just making
I
up the
think
Brotherhood?
Anybody get this book
any
before
person
you
knows,
go?
but I think the party is hella smart. Oh, sorry. I think they're very smart and they probably did that like on purpose
Yeah.
to weed out
Okay.
bad people.
So,
Or not bad people.
based on our understanding of this, considering what we know about O'Brien, do you guys think the Brotherhood even exists?
No.
No.
Okay, who thinks that, I'm pretty sure I can guess this, who thinks that Brian just made it up? O'Brien just made it up. Okay. Now this is me just being hopeful. Does anyone think O'Brien is just being undercover and just doing what he needs to not get caught? No, only 4? Kind of bums me out a little bit. Okay, so we're going to move on to chapter 2. Actually, before we go on to chapter 2, I forgot we need to go over grading the squids. So, because yes, this is worth points. So, on the top of your partner's sheet, I need you guys to put down over 40. What is their points? So they should get 10 points for every name that they win in death on. Only 4 of them. We're not going to go 50 out of 40. So
Wait, how many points is that?
this is out of 40. Out of 40. And you guys only have to have 4 names covered. So 10 points for each name that you got right. Alright, so finish grading those and pass those out. Were you messing around with it also? I know, that's me all the time.
Yeah, I got that one wrong. I mean, yeah, the channel hands and the big face guy.
No, porque no tenía dinero, no tengo mi tarjeta. Al Japón.
Me neither, Becky treated me.
Hard? Who was that? Who was that?
Nomás porque me llevaste.
Oh, yeah, because my friend was doing her. My cousin. I know.
We'll pick up that story later.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's wrap this up. Set same kind of genre. This could be in the future. Okay. Alright, let's bring it back in, folks. So we're going to be reading chapter 2. So I'm going to have to ask you guys to bring out your books. And instead of me reading aloud to you guys, I'm going to give you guys an opportunity. So you guys can read with partner, you can read in here, or you can read outside. Grab a chair if you need it. So, I'm going to let you guys go for it, and I'm going to preface it. So, chapter 2. Do you guys remember where we left off in chapter 1? Very end of it. You know, beaten up, and just going out with the truncheons. So, in chapter 2, he wakes up strapped to a bed, a gurney, and he's getting a whole bunch of stuff injected into his body. Yeah, very unpleasant. So, the other deal is, for the rest of this chapter, the only person we get to really see any interactions with is more or less Winston, and every torture that's inflicted upon him specifically. So no other prisoners are going to show up. Yes, so this might be a bit unpleasant. So I will leave it to you guys. Alright?